One of the lesser focused on subjects this week was, however, in my view, a very important development in the Supreme Court, which did not get enough time in court perhaps and which was dismissed, but which was very important nevertheless, when Subramaniam Swamy and Vishnu Shankar Jain filed a petition asking for the removal of the following words from the preamble of the Indian Constitution. The first word, secularism. The second, socialism. Subramaniam Swamy and Vishnu Shankar Jain wanted the court to ask for the deletion of the word secular and the word socialist from the preamble. The Supreme Court, while rejecting their petition, said that socialism can also mean fair opportunity, a concept of equality. It's not a modern concept, and asked in counter that do you not want India to be secular? That's the question the court countered the petitioners with, and eventually the court dismissed their petition. It said there are several provisions which make secularism part of our basic structure. But in a way, that is the point itself. If there are several provisions within the Indian Constitution, if there are different parts of the Indian Constitution, whether the principle of equality, liberty, the freedom to profess one's religion, freedom of expression, etc., which in a way make it clear that the principles of socialism and the principles of secularism are essentially already there within the basic structure of the Indian Constitution and are part of the Constitution in the way it was written pre-1975, pre-emergency, then the question should be, why were these words brought in the first place? Why were the words secular brought in? Why was the word socialist brought in? What is the time when they were brought in? Who brought them in? It was Indira Gandhi. What was the timing? During the emergency, through the 42nd Amendment to the Indian Constitution. Amendment so significant that it came to be called as the mini constitution. Now, on the one hand, Indira Gandhi was bringing in the word socialist and secular, and on the other hand, she was repressing the people of this country through the emergency, putting the entire opposition in jail. So the point really is, viewers, that we in our country have never felt ourselves empowered enough to have a real debate on this issue. I have the highest regard for the Supreme Court. I respect their judgment rejecting the petition of Subramaniam Swamy and Vishnu Shankar Jain today. But the fact is, there are forefathers. When the idea of forefathers, those who were the founding fathers of the Constitution, when this whole debate about whether the word secular and socialist should be incorporated into the Constitution in the first place, their argument was against it. It was rejected then because the Constitution already has the principles of secularism and socialism by way of the principles that it advocates. Then why did Indira Gandhi feel the need to bring in the word socialist, to bring in the word secular? I personally believe that was a conspiracy by Indira Gandhi and by several politicians after her, because she knew, and these politicians also know, that in the name of secularism, some of the greatest injustices are being justified in the country. I am not against secularism. I am, however, fundamentally against the various wrongs that are done in this country in the name of secularism. And let me define a few things which have been done in the last 75 years which are against the principles of secularism but defended in the name of secularism. Fact number one, those people who are against the Uniform Civil Code, in the name of secularism, they vehemently oppose the Uniform Civil Code. That is the most progressive bill that will bring in uniformity in the civil code of the country. In the name of secularism, some people oppose it. Most regressive practices like nikah halala, where small children, minors are married to 75 and 80-year-old men, are justified in the name of secularism. It is said these are part of the personal laws of Muslims. However, it goes against the principles that are espoused in the Constitution. And when there is a challenge between the personal laws of one religion and the principles of the Constitution, without a doubt the principles of the Constitution and only the principles of the Constitution should prevail. Please remember that when Rajiv Gandhi overturned the Shah Bano judgment, he did so in the name of secularism. We all know what happened when the Shah Bano judgment was overturned. it diluted the judgment of the Supreme Court. So judgments of the Supreme Court are diluted in the name of secularism. It put appeasement over women's rights, appeasement over human rights, Muslim appeasement over the rights of women, and that also happened in the name of secularism. It snatched away the right to maintenance of Muslim women, snatched away the right of dignity for Muslim women, millions of Muslim women, and all that also happened in the name of secularism. So my point is, viewers, it's so ironical that we are told that under secularism, we must also have people enjoy the luxury of acts like the Places of Worship Act. On the one hand, you have the Places of Worship Act, which says the religious character of any place of worship should continue to be forever what it was on the 15th of August 1947, the day of our independence. However, in the same country, where you have the Places of Worship Act, which is seen to be a finality in itself, you do not want to accept the fact that Hindus were subjected to brutality for centuries in the past, where you do not have the right to worship in Gyanvapi. You do not have the right to talk about Ayodhya till a few years back, but you have the Places of Worship Act. There are so many contradictions. I respect the Supreme Court. I bow down to the judgment of their lordships. But I, as a citizen of this country, continue to believe that we need to have a very strong and pivotal debate on secularism, at least on what is true secularism and what is fake secularism or pseudo-secularism. And even if the rest of the media will not stick their neck out on this subject, I believe that this event today, where the Honorable Supreme Court rejected the petition of Vishnu Shankar Jain and Subramaniam Swamy, should be the starting point of such a discussion.